Going down a rabbit hole is not even funny, okay? Like, nobody's business. So it went from junk DNA to gene coding and um, uh, what the influence of, okay, so junk DNA, you have 98% of junk DNA or uncoded DNA in every human being, right? 98% of your coding is turned off. Let that sink in. Only 2% of your actual coding as a human being is turned on. So, the link. Gene coding influences intelligence, a highly heritable trait, through hundreds of gene polygenic affecting brain development and function like neurons, growth, synapse formation, but its complex interplay where environmental factors, nutrition, education also play a crucial role, with genetics accounting for portions of IQ variations, not the entire picture. Let's just say I'm just going to throw this out here with this information. Let's just say that you have a child and you're trying to um, by environmental reasoning, turn on some of the so-called junk or uncoded DNA in your child, and the factors of nutrition and nutrition and education play a role. Think on that. We're living in a time where we don't want to educate kids. We want to cut out education. We want to cut out good nutrition. Environmentally, the water's bad, the food's bad, and the air is bad. We already are functioning at a 2% genetic coding that is on, and 98% is turned off, which is affecting IQ and things like that. So let's keep on reading. Polygenetic traits. Intelligence isn't determined by a single smart gene, but by combined small effects of many genes, hundreds identified so far. Now remember, we were talking about that the mitochondrial DNA is helps with cell reproduction and the energy levels in the cells, and every part of our body has cells. Your brain, your liver, your lungs, your everything, right? And now it's telling you that this is telling you that the gene coding, that 98% of that junk DNA is turned off, right? That environmental situations can cause things not to be turned on. I'm going to get down because they're going to start talking about AI as well, all right? So, polygenetic traits, brain function genes. These genes often relate to neuron growth, synapse functions, and overall brain development. Neurogenesis, genome-wide association studies, GWAS. These large-scale studies identify genetic variations, SNPSs, linked to intelligent test scores, reveal genes like FOXO3 and other involving in brain pathways. I want to go so far out in the ditches with this, but I got to rein myself in. Like I'm trying to go all the way into, the grow the how we have so many older people right now that they're saying are that have I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna stick to this for right now, and I'll come back to it. So, brain structures and functions, genetic variations can subtly alter how our brains are built and function, affecting cognitive processes. Gene expression enhancers, non-coding DNA segments help switch genes on or off, creating cell-specific functions, and AI is helping to crack the second code of life. So the role of environment, nature and nurture, environmental impact, current limitations, small effect size, complexity. So small effect size, each gene's contribution to intelligence is tiny, making it hard to predict or engineer intelligence. Complexity, the interaction between gene, environment, and epigenetics, changes in genes expressions is incredibly complex, making direct genetic engineering for intelligence currently impractical and potentially risky. Notes. So, we have a lot of people, a lot of elderly people that are affected by Alzheimer's or dementia. So, environmental, going back to the environmental of it all. What's happening to the elderly? Why there's so many of them that are affected with dementia and Alzheimer's, right? That's one thing. I want to touch on kids and how we have a whole government that wants to stifle education, to stifle intelligence, because that's that nature and nurture part thing down there that we read, as well as environmental and the food. No regulations on food, and food being like I saw a video where this lady, she bought carrots and avocado, and it was plastic, wasn't even real food. So some powers that be do not want that mitochondrial spark to ignite that so-called junk DNA in people, so that they can't figure things out and that their IQ is tampered with. We've got people that want just a small percentage to stay in control and not allow people to to grow to what their potential is. If you have 98% of your genetic coding turned off, completely off, and you're only working on 2%. Think about that. The potential is 100%. Why are we functioning on only 2% of that genetic coding being turned on? This is a majority of the people. And going back to the mitochondrial Eve from Africa, where all of humanity, it doesn't matter your race, has the mitochondrial Eve in them. But that patrilineal so-called Adam doesn't exist.